Talk teams that do not have a first-round pick, but potential fits and needs as well. And the Miami Dolphins, one of those teams that made the big trade, went out and got Tyreek Hill. They don't have a top 100 pick. Their first pick is in the third round at 102. And I thought this was interesting from Pete, because Pete has them picking a running back. Didn't they just go out and get a couple of running backs in Mostert and Edmonds?
They did, but Mostert's on a one-year deal, and he's coming off an injury, and we don't know what he's going to do. So, look, they could go in a bunch of different directions. They could go offensive line in the middle if there's a center they like. They could also go linebacker. And, one of the guys I like, Brian Asamoah, I thought he would be in play here as well. But I think when you add Cook, and I think Cook's going to be one of those guys who can catch the ball out of the backfield, can give you the explosive runs that Mike McDaniel loves. I think he's going to be a big-time player on the next level. So I put him in there. I could have easily put a center in here or a linebacker, because they need a linebacker who can really run.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, when you look at this roster, there's a number of places you could look for a potential need. The question is, are you finding that player at pick 102 in the draft who you can bet on coming in and being an immediate impact player? If not, I kind of look to what has made this team more consistent over the past couple of seasons. That's been their defense. And so I'm more thinking defensive tackle, edge rusher, whether you're providing depth there or providing, a potential starter. Either way, you take the best available at one of those two positions, and you continue to build on that defensive side of the ball, even though, again, I think based on their offseason moves, it seems like Mike McDaniels is doing all in on Tua Tagovailoa and seeing what he is as a quarterback.
Maybe they should take Carson Strong, the quarterback out of Nevada. I mean, that would be an interesting pick, because I think Carson Strong, if his knee can hold up, and there are questions about his knee, but if his knee held up, he's a guy who can really rip it.
And I know that their system.
Yeah, his knee isn't good. It's not good. He's got problems with the knee. But a quarterback. I mean, what if they were sitting there in the third round and you liked the quarterback? Isn't that a possibility? I mean, there are major questions about Tua. I mean, let's be honest about it. This is a show-me year for him. Is Teddy Bridgewater their long-term answer? No. So what do you do at the quarterback position? I think they have to start considering taking a quarterback at some point in this draft.
Pete brings up a good point, and I also think philosophically, too, what we're seeing with the number of teams now, if you look over the past 5 years in the draft, not as many of the first-round quarterbacks are getting that fifth-year option picked up. And in part, or if they did, the team's now kind of regretting it, and there's a couple circumstances we could talk about there, but in partially because now that fifth-year option is fully guaranteed once they exercise the option. It didn't used to be that way. It used to be for injury only, and so not as much risk for the team. So I think you could see that teams who don't necessarily need one in the first round, and maybe they're looking at a guy to replace maybe a guy like Tua, maybe they look at the second, third round if they've got a pick there, and they say, this way we don't necessarily feel the need to rush him or push him in there and force the issue, but he's a guy we can develop, and if and when ready, maybe compete with the guy we got there as a starter now.
Okay, so we're talking quarter.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.